So let's get started. So we are discussing Jenkins. Till now, we have covered how to install Jenkins on different platforms, then how the UI will look like, how to create some sample jobs on Jenkins, some freestyle jobs and Maven jobs also yesterday we have discussed. Okay. So today we will see some more details about jobs. Okay, so yesterday we have seen different options also inside the jobs, like keeping the some rotation of the logs, how many days of logs that you want to keep, how we can able to create some parameters inside the jobs so that we can use that parameters while defining any variable multiple times if you want to be used, where we can able to create a parameter. Okay, so there are different types of parameters that we have covered: string parameter, credentials parameters, password parameter, kind of thing, where we have discussed yesterday. Just you can play around those things so that you'll get multiple use cases over there. And after that, we have seen options like whether you want to write a shell script or you want to write a batch script, where we can able to use that option and post build. Once the Jenkins job execution got completed, post build what you want to do. So whether you want to get some notification or you want to do some other activity or you want to clean the workspace. Okay, so like that, post build what actions that we can able to do also we have discussed yesterday. So the pending parts over there are, one is build triggers. Inside the Jenkins job, we have one option which is pending, that is build triggers, that I want to cover, which is very important because in a day-to-day life we will come across these use cases of build triggers. Okay, so in build triggers there are three parts that I am going to cover now. One is periodic option. Periodic option. One is periodic build is nothing but so you can set the build at some particular time window so that every day or every week or every month, whatever the time that you are going to set, the job will automatically get started. It doesn't require someone to come and manually execute the job. Okay. So the second type is poll SEM, and the third one is webhook. These are the three types of build triggers which are available. There are different options, but most I can see the uses across these three. Okay, so periodic one means based on timing, it will automatically get started. Our Jenkins job. Poll SCM means here also we will set some timing like periodic, but at that time it won't trigger automatically. So at the time it will go and it will verify the code base. Okay, suppose let's say I have set the job every minute. Okay, every minute it will go and it will verify the code base. If there is any code change at that time compared to the previous version, if there is any code change, then the Jenkins job will get triggered. It will download the latest code and it will build that code and all. Okay, so means what is the difference between periodic and Polesium is the interview question. You may get it here. So periodic and Polesium, both the cases, we will define some timing, but periodic will execute that time always, whereas Polesium will check at the time with the code base. If there is any code change, then only it will get executed. Otherwise, it will skip the execution of the Jenkins job. If there is no change, then it won't get executed. Okay. And the third option, webhook trigger. Webhook trigger is nothing but it is going to just link your Jenkins URL. We are going to connect with the GitHub or Bitbucket, wherever you are maintaining your code repository, so that automatically the code base will intimate to the Jenkins saying that, hey, there is a code change occurred, so that you can go and start your Jenkins job, kind of thing. It is it will get some intimation kind of thing from the code base directly, so with the help of webhook, so that it doesn't depend on time. Suppose now I have made some code change, then immediately my Jenkins job will get triggered. Suppose after 1 hour if I made some code change, my Jenkins job will get started immediately. It doesn't depend on any time and all. Okay, these are the three types. We will see how we can use these three quickly, so that we have to cover pipelines and master slave configuration as well today. So let me go. to EC2 and start my Jenkins server. And let me open the GitHub account also, where we will play with uh, one account, one repository. Yeah, now it is running. Let me copy the IP and then paste it in the browser. As you know, yesterday we have given the complete access to 8080 port. So for all the IPs, so that today, without changing the firewall at inbound rule, it is automatically opening the Jenkins portal. So let me use the credentials. So now I am able to log into my Jenkins server, right? So let me create one more job, and the job name, let me create it as periodic job, same freestyle job only. Or you can try whatever you want. Just I'll be using freestyle because just I want to show you this use case, build triggers use case, right? Just use one of the code base. Let me create a new one if you want. So once you created a new repository, so you can get the HTTP link. Okay, HTTP URL, you can get it and you can clone it. So for that, I have GitHub. I think I have Git Bash. Let me try to use this one. So Git Bash will be helpful. It is kind of command tool which we can able to write some code. So currently I'm at this folder. Mm, Let me go to, yeah, there is a test folder is there inside Hello World project is there. So let me clone my another repository to here. So now I have cloned the repository. If you see ls command, you can able to see the batch 0123 is there, right? So let me switch to that branch. Let me go inside that branch. Now if you see what branch you are, so currently I am there at main branch, right? So I am there at main branch. So let me create some files. I think you already learned by this time these commands, how you can able to write some files and get added to source code, either GitHub or Bitbucket or GitLab by this time. So, so currently I have created two files. So the two files will be there in red color. Means that these you have to add and commit in order to push. Okay. So git add dot git commit hyphen m added f1 and f2 files git push origin. So the branch name, let me create it as main. So I want to push my code to the main branch. See now my code base pushed, right? So let me go and see inside my GitHub repository whether that code base got updated or not inside this one. See now F1 and F2 two files are pushed, right? So let me try to use this repository. So inside my job. So git I'm going to use the link of that repository URL. It doesn't require any credential as it is a public repository. And the branch name will be main, right? Because here you can see the branch name currently we have is main. And now we will play with these three options. So first I'll be creating build periodically, and here I want to set some timing. So the timing will be cron job. So as you already aware most of them, if not, so there is an option called cron job expression. So so you can define some timing for that. Okay. Suppose let's say this is one of the cron job, star, star, something like that, right? So this is one of cron job expression. So here each and every value has some use case. Suppose here you can see the first one will indicate seconds time. Seconds means at which second I want to execute my Jenkins job. Second one is at which minute I want to execute my job, and at which hour. Third one is based on hours, at which hour I want to execute my job. Fourth one is at which day of the month. Next one is at which month. After that one is which day of the week. So like that, you can define some cron job which can execute at what time you want to get executed. Here you can see they have given some examples. You can go around it to get some hands on. 0012, which indicates that it will get executed at 12 p.m. So every day, this is the day, right? I think this is the day, and this is the month in a day, so that it will get executed every day at 12 p.m. Something here they have maintained 10:15 also every day. So going forward, if they want to set some particular day in a week, they can, last parameter will be helpful for that. Suppose Monday to Friday, if they want to execute, they can do that part. Instead of writing this Monday to Friday, they can give the numbering also. For Monday, it's 1, so that 1 to 5, like that also they can provide. Okay, so this is how they can able to provide some values. For now, I'm going to use star. So it will get executed every minute. Okay, so let me see. Do you really mean every minute? When you say every minute, perhaps you can use this one also. Yeah, it is fine. So I want to get execute every minute. Okay, so let me click on save and apply. So once I click on save and apply, so if I doesn't execute, if I doesn't use this build now option also, every 1 minute the job will get executed. After 1 minute, if you see, it will get start the builds automatically. Okay, so it'll come after some time over here. So for every 1 minute, here you can see automatically without using that build now option, automatically the job gets started after 1 minute again. So currently the timing here it is showing 1:17 a.m. right? After one more minute, again the Jenkins job execution gets started. Okay, so every 1 minute here we have set some time so that it will automatically gets executed. So if any time, if you don't want to execute a scheduled job, this is kind of periodic job or scheduled job. If you don't want to execute a scheduled job, you want to stop it, there is a disable project option is there. If you see here, you can click on that so that project will get disabled. Disabled means project will not get deleted. It will not execute. Just it will stop the execution, because these are scheduled jobs, right? If no one execute auto manually at the time, it will get executed. For that purpose, you can disable the project as well. So we'll see after one more minute, it will get executed automatically. See, now at 1:18, it gets executed. Like that, for every minute, it will keep on executes the job. We will come after some time over here. We can see multiple builds like this for every minute. Similarly, the second option now we will see. Let me create one more job, which is called, let's say, poll SCM. Poll SCM. Here you can see this is called POLL, sorry. So I mean POLL SCM, poll SCM. Here also let me give some timing. At the time, one time I think it will get executed. Sorry, I have to configure and I have to give that URL as well. This URL so that it will clone some code. instead of some empty execution of the job. Okay, so now I have given the timing as well. So without building, okay, so without building the job, I think first time it got executed already. Let me try one more time. Earlier we don't have any code base, so let me see why it got failed. Couldn't find any version to build. Okay, I think we have set it as master, right? Maybe that's why it got failed. Automatically, if it doesn't change the branch, it will default consider master branch. But we don't have any code at the master branch, right? Let me switch to main. That's why it got failed. Now let me click on build now. You can see it got success. But actually what needs to be happened, it also needs to be executed every 1 minute because we have configured, right? We have configured the code base uh, and we have given the timing in such a way that it needs to be get executed for every 1 minute, but it won't execute for every 1 minute. Why? Because for every 1 minute it will go and check at the code base if there is no code change currently from third build to the fourth build. If it needs to get executed, there is no code change, right? We haven't done any code change at this repository. Only f1 and f2 two files are there, so nothing got changed in the code base. Then the job won't get executed at that particular time. Just it will check at the time whether is there any code change or not. It will check, but it won't get execute that job. Okay. So now we will wait for some time. It won't get executed. But if we change some code at the next 1 minute interval, whenever it is going to check, right, at the time, it will think that, yeah, there is a code change is there. Now I want to execute my job. It will consider like that and it will execute the job. Okay. So we will see after changing some code base later, we will see. Just we'll keep it like this for now. Okay. So let me create one more job. And as you can see, now the console looks, there is a weather report kind of symbol is there. So sun symbol here indicate that always your Jenkins job got success, 100% success kind of thing. So rainy symbol or cloudy symbol looks like some of the jobs got failed. Okay. So complete rain symbol means always your job got failed. And here success symbol means last whether your job got success or failed. Based on that, these job status will be displayed. Okay. And let me create the last job which I'm trying to create, which is called webhook based trigger. So this is important, and so many organizations they will use this webhook based triggering so that whenever there is code change, it doesn't depend on any timing. Here you can see GitHub hook trigger, so that if there is any code change, automatically the Jenkins will get some intimation kind of thing from GitHub, and it will get executed. Okay, let me use the URL and the repository branch will be main. Okay, and I have selected this one. But how this GitHub will intimate to Jenkins means we have to do some configuration at the GitHub repository level also. Okay, so let me save and apply. First, we have used webhook. So what we have to do at the repository level? Go to the GitHub and inside your repository, you can see some settings option. So inside settings option, you can see some webhooks option. Okay, so inside webhook there is a add webhook button is there. You can use that add webhook button, but whenever you are trying to add webhook, it will ask the confirmation about your authentication, whether you are the valid user or not. Let me authenticate. So once I authenticated, so it will show you the option how you can add a webhook. Okay, so here you have to give some payload URL. Payload URL is nothing but your Jenkins URL. But up to which part you have to use your Jenkins URL means just copy the URL of your Jenkins. So you can copy, but it doesn't require the entire part. Let me check the documentation for that. you have to give that URL in some format, otherwise it won't work. Here you can see in settings, webhook, payload URL you have to set. That is your Jenkins URL colon 8080 followed by GitHub hyphen webhook. This is how you can configure GitHub hyphen webhook. GitHub hyphen webhook slash. So this is the URL you have to provide your Jenkins URL followed by GitHub hyphen webhook. Okay. So then here you can select application slash JSON and here you can leave it empty. Then next option, which events would like to trigger the webhook? Just push the event, send me everything. Let me select the individual. Let me see what I have selected. Content type will be application slash JSON. So just push the event and check the box. Just push the event is selected and check the box. Let me click on add webhook. See now, if you doesn't provide any of the value wrong, right? So it won't see this successful symbol, last delivery successful symbol. Now it got success means it will work as expected. Okay. So now you can go to your Jenkins job. So now there is no execution for this webhook, right? So if you go to the dashboard, so the periodic job, if you open, it will keep on execute for every 1 minute. 118, 119, 120, 21, 22, like this, it will keep on execute. If there is any change or not, automatically gets executed. Other job, poll SCM, it will not execute. Okay, until there is some code change, it will not execute. But it will every time, every 1 minute, it will go and verify the code base. The next one, webhook, it will not get execute until there is a code change is there. So now what I will do, I'll make some code change. Then I'll come to this page. So poll SCM should trigger. Currently there are three builds, three build histories there, right? So it will start the fourth build at the next interval, next 1 minute interval, it will start the fourth build. Similarly, the webhook, it will immediately start. It won't wait for the next minute also. Whenever there is code change, then it will immediately start the execution of the Jenkins shop. Okay. So now let me modify some code base. Modify means let me try to add one more file. I don't want to make big code changes and all. So git add f3 git commit hyphen m added f3 file git push origin main. So once I push the code, my code is pushed, right? Let me go and verify my code base first, whether that code got reflected or not. Here you can see in my code base F3 code is there. So once F3 code is there, let me go to my webhook. And if you can see, the job gets completed immediately. And let me go to Polyscium. So Polyscium, it is going to just now start. Okay. So there is a code change. Next 1 minute interval, it is getting started. See, 119, the third one executed. 127, the fourth one executed. But in between, so for every 1 minute, it is going to check the code base, but there is no code change. That's why it doesn't execute it. But this time there is a code change. That's why it is executed. Okay. So these are the three major use build triggers that will be helpful. But poll SCM and webhook, these two will be used mostly. Inside that, webhook will be extensively used. Okay. And some of the jobs periodic also. Some jobs needs to be some report generation kind of thing. Every day at some particular time, some reports needs to be generated. So at the time, some scheduled jobs, these periodic jobs or scheduled jobs will be helpful. Okay. So this is about build triggers. Now we will see what are the different types of jobs that we can go and create. Okay, pipelines, folders, there are multiple things are there. So first let me see how we can use this folder option. Let me create a folder, test folder or folder, whatever it may be. Just let me create a folder name as test. Let's see what this folder meant for. Let's select folder and click on OK. So display name is also test and some description. This folder meant for some team A. Something for some team, just I am going to create some folder. That's why I'm creating this one. If you can see in your dashboard, it will create a folder instead of a job. It will create a folder. Okay. So now going forward, if that team A, they need to create some job means instead of creating in outside, they can come to this page. They can come to this folder and they can create new item over here. Why? Because it will be very easy for them to identify their jobs. Yesterday we discussed one more concept, view concept, that also will be helpful just to filter their particular jobs. But instead of that one, so this one will be more helpful. Here you can see, you can create some folders related to team A, team B, some team name with folders you can create. Inside the folder, you can create some jobs. So let me create some sample job. So any questions?
It's funny. While we are creating a folder job, we saw the health metrics, right? How it will be displayed. Can you please apply that option also if you want to mind?
Let me see. I haven't observed that. Let me create one more. So let me create one more folder. Let's say test2 folder. Okay.
There is
So
a
this
health
one, yeah,
metric, and what else in the
child
pipe.
item. I haven't tried this option. I have to explore actually.
Sure,
Maybe
no
some.
problem.
Yeah. I'm thinking health metrics will be helpful inside the folder, right? How many jobs are there? How many getting executed successfully? How many getting failed? Some kind of dashboard. Earlier, we can able to see some statistics, right, under Manage Jenkins. Kind of thing it may
Exact.
help.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question. I put that one
Yeah.
in the chat, so that's why I was like having that question. Even how can we manage while we are doing that one, right? Yeah, I was
Hmm.
yesterday I pinged in the chat for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So there are multiple options in Jenkins. It is a very vast actually. Whenever we download some plugin, we can get some particular options. Some of the options now we are able to see very less limited options over here, right? So after installing a lot of plugins in the organization, depending on their use case, you can see some other options which you can able to explore. Okay, so some detailed documentation is also there for each and every plugin. Jenkins.io website where you can able to get some more information about some particular topic which you want to get explore and get some hands on.
Okay. Thank you.
So no problem. Let me go to my dashboard and we can see the other options that we have. So now we have seen freestyle how to create, Maven project how to create, folder how to create. Now we can see how to create some pipelines. Okay, pipelines, there are two types of pipelines majorly we have.
What is a pipeline in the sense like flow through,
Yeah,
right? One by one. It's like
yes,
a step by
yes.
step method.
Yes. So currently we are creating some job, right? Suppose let's say inside my Jenkins we have created a lot of jobs. Let's say uh, job one I have created, and in job one I am doing some action, and after that action I have to do one more action. For that, let's say I have created one more job. Means these two are separate operations that I am doing. But instead of doing that operations in two different jobs, you can maintain the code of this job one and this job two in a single job, and you can make some difference between them also. You can create one job only, but you can see the difference. You can see the part. Yesterday you asked, right, where the job getting failure, how to know and all. In pipelines, it will be very clear in which part of the Jenkins pipeline it is getting failed. Also, we can see. Suppose there are stages will be maintained in pipeline. So here, how we are defining a job, there you can maintain one stage. Suppose stage one, I am getting the code from the code base. Let's say GitHub, I am cloning the code. Stage two, I am building the code with the help of Maven. I am preparing some artifact. Stage three, I am pushing that artifact to one of the artifact management tools like JFrog or Nexus. Stage 4, I'm going to deploy that artifact into one of the target environments. Suppose, let's say, if I have my Tomcat instance ready so that I can deploy the war file, I can show you that war file deployment also to the Tomcat environment and all. So the fifth step, where I can able to do some post build action. Suppose once my Jenkins job gets completed, whether I want to send some mail to about the status of the Jenkins job, whether it is success or whether it is failure, instead of using the options inside the Jenkins job post build options, right? You can add that step inside the Jenkins pipeline itself. We'll see that option, how we can create some Jenkins job. There are two types of Jenkins pipelines are there. Okay, pipeline is nothing but some sequential step-by-step procedure of the Jenkins job execution. Instead of creating multiple Jenkins job for a particular use case, you can create one pipeline which can consist of multiple stages. So the
Got
two
it.
pipelines are one, yeah, one is scripted pipeline. Second one is called declarative pipeline. So scripted pipeline, declarative pipeline, what is the difference? Which one we have to use means, scripted one is the first one which they have developed. So which is the old one kind of thing, but still some of the companies they are using. So this is the new one, some latest code base, some latest syntax they have been used in the declarative one. So when compared with the scripted one, declarative has some minimal syntax kind of thing. Okay, so scripted pipeline that you can able to write inside the Jenkins job itself. Inside Jenkins job, you can able to write in this scripted pipeline. And this declarative pipeline you can write in the code base directly in the SCM, means source code management repository tools. In GitHub, let you are maintaining your source code. Inside that source code, you can keep one file name that is called Jenkins file. So the Jenkins file is the this is the file pattern that you have to use for sure. So J will be capital and the file name also you have to keep like this only. Okay. So the Jenkins file you can able to keep along with your code base. So that will be identified by the Jenkins job so that pipeline will get executed. You will not maintain any code inside your Jenkins job. Everything you will maintain inside the Jenkins file and the Jenkins file execution. Inside the Jenkins file, we will define some step-by-step procedure, how to work and all. Okay, so that will get executed. We will see now some sample pipelines, how to write and all. So first we will see some scripted pipeline, how to write. So let me
Yeah, a very
go
quick
in.
question, Sunny, regarding
Yeah,
this descriptive one, than the scripting one, right? So you're saying the
yeah.
latest followed by the SCM, source code
Mhm.
management. So
Mhm.
will there be, will it check for the latest code and followed by SCM, or uh,
Okay.
what about
Uh,
what exactly the sequence of it?
okay. You're saying, suppose whenever we have the latest code, does it will pick the latest Jenkins file? Is that question?
Yeah, kind of little confusing with the scripted is, I mean, the first one is fine. The second option, I'm little confused
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So first one, directly we will define inside the Jenkins job itself, right? So how my
Mm-hmm.
pipeline looks like. So that earlier we have created some echo, welcome to Jenkins job, and followed by this is my country. So step by step, the lines will get executed, right? Whatever we have written in the execute shell. Similarly, in the pipeline also. So anyway, we are going to create scripted. We will see that scripted.
Okay, okay.
Pipeline. So let me create a pipeline and specifically I'm using the Jenkins job name as scripted pipeline. Let me select pipeline, click on OK. So inside the pipeline itself, you can see the options how the job will look like gets changed where once you selected pipeline. And here you can see in pipeline, there are two options. One is pipeline script and pipeline script from SCM. So if you select here, there is some sample. Let me use this hello world. This is the declarative pipeline. I think declarative pipeline also you can able to use inside the Jenkins job. But most of the teams now they will use this instead of writing that big code inside the Jenkins. They will maintain along with the code base. where it will automatically picked by this Jenkins job. First, now we'll see how the scripted looks like. Yeah, this is the scripted pipeline. You can see specifically it is there, scripted pipeline. Scripted pipeline, how to remember means it will start the syntax with the node. So the starting syntax with will be node for scripted pipeline. And the next stage, what will be the stage name? And inside the stage, you can define your GitHub URL. Suppose here you can see Git and my GitHub URL is this one. And then next one, stage. What is the stage name? So this is the one stage. Here you can minimize if you want, so that you can clearly understand the code base very easily. Here you can see node within the curly braces, they have maintained multiple stages. There are three stages: stage one preparation, stage two build, stage three results. So stage one, what they have done, so preparation means they are just getting the code base from the repository tool. Earlier, so that URL we have specified somewhere, right? The code base repository is there. Git, there we have maintained our repository URL. But now here by using this Git and by using this URL, it will download the code base. And the next one, build. Build means I need to execute the Maven lifecycle goals. In order to execute the Maven lifecycle goals, here they have maintained build, and what is the Maven lifecycle goals they want to execute, they maintain that code base over here. MV, and here you can see clean package. These two lifecycle goals they are executing. And the next one, results. In the results, suppose they are executing some unit test cases, and then they are preparing some artifacts where the artifacts are stored. By default, I told you, right, in target there will be a target folder will be created. Inside that, the jar files will be being created and all. Suppose let me quickly click on save and apply. This is one of the scripted pipeline. If I click on build now, what you can see in this dashboard itself, currently it got failed, but if it gets executed, here you can see currently it is getting failed in the preparation stage only. Okay. So suppose if the preparation stage got completed successfully, it can display the next stage it over here, so that the next execution box will be displayed over here. Once that is completed, next execution box, like that, at which stage it got failed, we can clearly understand in the pipeline. Suppose let me go to this execution output, console output. Maybe they have used their own code, right? So no tool named M3. So this is the that Maven related error only. Let me go to configure. In order to go to configure, here instead of maintaining this one, let me. So first step where they are trying to, let's say this thing I'm just cleaning, because I want to show you how it will display the next step also. SH we can use shell script mvn clean, see whether it will work or not. So first step where it is trying to download the code base. Okay, second step where it is trying to execute that Maven lifecycle code. Next stage where it is trying to do some other thing. Let me click on save and apply. Once I click on build now, the second build will get started. Uh, the second build, if you can see, the first step it is success this time. That's why it is showing in green color, but it is failed in the second step. Okay, so if you go and see the execution console output, see the first step it got completed successfully where it is downloaded that code base maybe. Second step mvn clean install, maybe it is not able to recognize that mvn command. Yep. But instead of anyway preparing some work, right, we can just to show you, I'll do one more thing. Some message we will print instead of some execution, instead of the build step, and the next one, let's say this is a deployment section. This is the deploy stage. So let me click on save and try to run. So I want to show you how this multiple see, now everything is green, means it got successfully completed, and you can see that entire Jenkins job as green. So other one, if it is got failed in the first step and this got failed in the second step, and where you can see the logs related to that particular stage as well. If you want to see the logs related to that particular failure, where you can see it. Otherwise, you can go to the console output where you can see the entire logs as well. Okay, this is how like you can create a pipeline which can able to execute in multiple stages. In stage one you can define a lot of things. Okay, so but you have to be familiar with that some shell script uh, where you can able to interact with that code base, how to download, and where you can execute that Maven lifecycle codes, right? For that, you need to grant some permissions in advance. In order to execute that Maven over here, you need to download that Maven repository thing. Once it is done, we already downloaded that one, but here we have to grant some additional permissions also, because it is going to execute the Maven, right? For that, you have to grant some permissions to your Maven repository like this, and after that you can able to execute that Maven lifecycle goals and all. So let me try this one. No, it got failed with it. So it is not able to recognize this one only. Maven, some other version that we have to maintain, then only it can able to do. This is kind of customized Maven that we are going to maintain inside your Jenkins server, so that it can able to uh, it can able to recognize that particular latest version and all. Okay, so let me try to remove that one. But if you want to explore multiple syntaxes, very first time here you can get some sample syntaxes and all. But if you want to define this pipeline script same from here instead of here, you can see pipeline script from SCM option is there, right? If you use this one here, you can't able to write that code. You can define your code base where you are getting that code and all. So you can define gate, and you can give that repository URL and the code, the branch name where it is, and followed by what is the file name of this Jenkins pipeline script where you maintain. So usually this is the file name that we will keep along with our code base. Okay, so let me write one of the Jenkins file in our code base only. We have one code base, right? Here we are. This is the repository. Right? Let me try to write some sample Jenkins file here, which is kind of script, sorry, declarative pipeline. Okay, touch Jenkins file. So means one file will get created. Let me try to open that Jenkins file. So VA Jenkins means the file will get open, and here I can able to write. So for the declarative one, right? Instead, for the scripted one, we will use the first keyword as node. Okay, so we have seen that option over here.
Yes, funny. Yeah, first you use the node only.
Let's select, yeah. So here we will use the node. There we will use the pipeline for the declarative one. So pipeline followed by agent is the next one. So agent one, here we have we can define it as three options. One is agent any you can define. agent Docker you can define, okay, or agent some particular slave. If you have some master slave configuration, so slave name also you can able to define. For now, I'll be using any. Any means whatever the executor that is available to run my Jenkins job. Suppose I have a master slave configuration, one master with some five slaves. So whichever the slave is available now to execute my job, that will be picked by this Jenkins job. Okay. Suppose if I don't want to give this Jenkins job needs to be executed on all the slaves, maybe I have created a dedicated slave for my team. Then you can define that particular slave name also. Instead of the slaves, suppose if you want to use some Docker image needs to be run as a slave. Okay. Suppose if you already learned about Docker, you can able to reuse the Docker image as well. So here, these are the three options that we can able to utilize depending on the use case. So for now, I'll be going with any, and followed by here, you can define some steps. Sorry, not steps, stages first. So inside the stages, okay, you can define the stage, particular stage. So inside the stages, you can define your code base. So how you need to look like that code base and all. So the stage also here you can define that stage name, what you are trying to do in the inside that code. Let's say I'm going to clone that code base, and inside that, so instead of writing this from the scratch, let me try to get from. We don't have much time.
Funny, I have a question.
Yeah,
Earlier
sure.
we see like the pipeline syntax, right? Can we differ, write the code there and just copy it from over there? Is there any pipeline syntax there, right? And
Yes, yes,
download
we can.
the
Yes, yes, we can do that one. Some sample syntax that we can get it,
yeah,
and we can.
something.
Yes. See, declarative pipeline. Pipeline one. Just click on OK. And in the declarative one, now I want to use pipeline one, right? So let me click on hello world. Yeah. So once I use hello world, I'll get some sample one. So I can try to reuse this one. Otherwise, here we can write and we can copy to there also. So this is how looks like pipeline. Yep. Agent
Okay.
any
Yeah.
and the stages where we have to add one more stage means inside this stages one. So currently this is the one stage from fifth line to this is the one stage. So here you can maintain some comma followed by you can define multiple stages over here. Stage. So this is kind of second stage and whatever that you want to write. So stage name followed by curly braces. So here inside that you can define steps. Okay. So if you have multiple steps where you want to write, you can define steps and again curly braces. And inside the steps, you can write your actual code. This is how you can able to define if you want to define multiple. Let me copy this part. And if I want to write one more step, you can write it. So echo, this is second stage. This is third stage. And the first one is hello world. Somewhere I can see maybe comma not required. Expecting this is the closing. All the stages closing. I think looks like let me save. If there are any issues, it won't get executed. Any syntax related issues. Yeah, I think there are some issues. Let me check. Expecting at line number 14, it is expecting some closing bracket. We have maintained. Let me see. By removing this comma also. Yeah, I think now it is getting executed. You can see the each stage name will get displayed so that we can easily identify at which stage it got failed and not. Okay. So in the organizations, they'll create some build, from preparation stage, getting the source code stage, building the stage, preparing, pushing that artifact, and then deploying um, that artifact. So all these stages will be maintained so that um, on top of this, if you want to use that build triggers option that we have used, right? So suppose this declarative pipeline or scripted pipeline, whatever it is there. So let me try to configure. And here we have the build triggers option on top of that so that you can explore. Suppose let's say I want to use the poll SCM or webhook based trigger so that you can configure that webhook so that will get automatically started, right? Whenever the code base gets changed and all. Okay. So
Can
this
you
is the
little
one.
bit scroll down for me if you want mind?
Which one?
The one we are talking about declarative pipeline, which is going to configure.
Yeah.
Can you please pull it down little bit? I mean, scroll it down. I mean,
Yep.
there is also a pipeline syntax. Right? Can we use that one also for this? How
Yes.
it does it work?
I think here, by giving some options, okay, what you are trying to do, it is going to generate some pipeline script, but
Mhm.
we haven't tried that one. But if you give some steps, let's say I want to do this particular part, I want to do some error handling kind of thing, or I want to send some email kind of thing. What is the format that I need? You can get some piece of code kind of thing. Later, you have to add that piece of code. Suppose let's say uh, some git is there. Let me try to use. So git, how the code looks like. Suppose let's say here I'm going to give some URL.
Mhm.
Suppose this is the code base. Let's say I want to use in my pipeline, and this is the branch. Let's say main or master branch, whatever it is. Uh, then I want to generate the pipeline script for that one. Means it will give how you can able to write that pipeline script for that particular options which are there in freestyle jobs kind of thing. So
Okay,
where we can provide that value so that it will provide the script, a pipeline script, so that you can use that script inside the pipeline. Like this,
okay.
instead of gate, if I want to use some JUnit kind of thing, some unit test
Mhm.
cases, or if I want to send some mail, or if I
Mhm.
want to build a job,
Mhm.
so that options you have to provide, whichever it is giving. Once you provide
Mhm.
the option, it will use that piece of code which you can able to reuse inside the pipeline.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
So the last one that I want to cover, anyway, we are running out of time. So let me give 5 more minutes so that we can complete at least the types of the jobs. Master slave configuration is still pending. So this is the one more which I want to cover, which is multi-branch pipeline. So instead of pipelines, now everyone is using multi-branch pipeline. This is the high level. Uh, so this I want to cover. Let me try to create some multi-branch job. And then multi-branch pipeline. So the difference from the pipeline and from the multi-branch pipeline is, so in pipeline where we can use only one job at the time of creating the pipeline job, you have to configure the job repo name, the branch name, whether you are working on master branch or whether you are working on main branch or development branch. Only one branch only you can configure. But in multi-branch pipeline, if you can see, uh, you can provide the by Jenkins file only. You will maintain the Jenkins file directly inside the code base only. Okay, and you can give that path exactly in code base where is that one. And there is a way where you can able to give your code base URL also. Suppose my code base URL is. Let me get some. Do I have any code which is related to Jenkins? Yeah, let me try to use this one, Jenkins Java project, which has some Jenkins file. You can see inside some code base repository, some Jenkins file will be maintained like this. In the Jenkins file, you can see pipeline, agent, what you are trying to use, stages, what is the stage. So each stage name, and something like that, what steps you are going to execute, they have maintained. In the end post, if there is any failure, I want to get some email notification, what is the subject, what is the body, and to which mail I want to send. Okay, if it is get success, how the message should form, and if it is fail, how the message should form. So like that, you can customize your pipeline, lot of things that you can do it. Okay, suppose let me try to use this job. Let me try to use this job. So here, what it will do, multi-branch pipeline, instead of depending on this Jenkins file, which is there on master branch, if you have some other branches also, currently here we have only one branch, it seems, but if you have some multiple branches also, it can able to recognize that branches. So that maybe first time you are writing your Jenkins job on development branch. Once it is looking fine, then only you will push your code from development branch to master branch or some release branch. Okay, so but development branch also, it needs to be recognized. Every time I don't want to change my pipeline job, if you create a pipeline job, you have to every time change which branch I want to use the code and all. But if you use multi-branch pipeline, so automatically it can able to do that part. So if you see multi-branch pipeline, it is kind of a folder, it will look like kind of a folder. If you can see the job, it will look like kind of folder, but on top of that it is a symbol is there, which is indication of multi-branch. But this is the folder actually. Okay, remaining things are jobs. This is the multi-branch pipeline. Suppose if I go to multi-branch pipeline, and here uh, it is not configured completely. Yeah, let me go to configure option, and I want to say my Jenkins file is directly there, but my code base is this one. Let me go to Git, and my repository is this one. And inside that one, what is the branch patterns that you want? Earlier pipeline, we have seen one branch name, right, where we have provided, but here, so you will not get a single branch name. You have the options to set multiple branch names. Where you can see that option where you can define some what we can say, we can define some pattern of branches. Suppose let's say I want to define multiple branches which can able to uh, all the branches which are starting with release hyphen with today date, release hyphen tomorrow date, all the branches will be recognized whichever it is starting with release, something like that we can able to define. But the option is somewhere multi-branch pipeline, discover branches, git plugin. I think anyway we already have that one. Configure remote branch. Yeah, filter by wildcards we can use, or filter by regular expressions. Let me try to use filter by wildcards. Here, what one we have to use? Let me try to use master branch, and followed by, suppose let's say I want to use some development branch, and I want to use some release hyphen star. Means all the branches which are starting with release followed by star means whatever it is. Okay, so this is kind of some wildcard I want to do. So something like that, I want to include some branches, but exclude. Suppose I don't want to build some test branch. Suppose let's say I have one branch which is test. I don't want to execute that branch. I want to exclude that branch. Like that, you can add multiple branches for exclude also. Something like that, you can use it. All the branches get the same properties, and named branches gets different properties. You can proceed with same for now. Yeah, looks like apply and save. Now you can see once I started, immediately it will scan the multi-branch pipeline. It can able to recognize what are the branches are available. So it is currently identified only one branch, right? So with that branch, it will create a folder kind of thing over here. If you can see, let me go to that multi-branch pipeline. Here it should create that folder. with the branch name itself directly. Let me scan multi-branch pipeline now. It is completed, but there is a way where we can able to see the option. First time configuration is somewhat tricky, but after that it will keep on identify that particular branch name whenever there is a change in that particular branch name, right? That particular branch Jenkins job will get executed. Here you can see all the list of branches names over here. Give me a minute. Scan multi-branch pipeline log. Inside the log, whether it is identified that master branch or not. Processed one branch. This looks fine. Okay, looks there should be some change required on that branch. Let me try to go to that branch and I'll try to add one test file. We'll see. P1 test file. Commit the file directly from the code GitHub only. Okay, I have made some code change. Let's see whether no, I think it is not. Let me get that configuration, how it is configured. Very first time it give me a minute. Let me go to configure. Pipeline build configuration is fine. All branches get the same property. Instead of filters, let me try to use all the branches. Discover other tags, reference tags. Yeah, let me try to use star instead of putting some. Every time if you change that one, right? So it will scan the pipeline and it will prepare how many jobs are there. Now you can see one Jenkins file is found in the master branch. Okay. Yeah, now you can see this is how it needs to look like. So inside my Jenkins job, inside my multi-branch Jenkins job, you can see your branch name master. So like that, if you have one more branch over here, suppose let's say if you have one more branch, can I create a branch from here directly? Let me see. Is there any option? Yeah, new branch. I'm creating from master branch itself. Kind of development branch. So from the development branch, I have created one more branch, which is from the master branch, I have created one more branch, which is the development branch. So once it is created, if you scan this pipeline, okay, so every time if there are new branches needs to be recognized, or if you change some configuration, then you have to scan this one so that it will identify the branches where it has the Jenkins files and all. So let me scan one more time, scan multi-branch pipeline now. Let me refresh. See, now the development also looks like. So if there is any Jenkins file changes there on the development branch, this pipeline execution gets started. Inside the development, you can see the logs. Okay. Similarly, inside the master, you can see the activity. So both are different actually. So in the one job only, you can see branch level. Okay, master branch, some logs are there. Master branch, some build history you can see. Development branch, some build history you can see. If there is any code change is there on the development branch, the build will gets executed on that particular branch. The failure, whatever it may be, but this is how you can able to configure one of the anyway, we have used some big Jenkins file, right? Some other repository which they have created. So we don't have all those things anyway. That will get failed for sure. But if you try to use some very minimal pipeline kind of thing initially, just to get some pipeline, some UI it needs to display this is stage one, this is stage two, something if you want to look like where you can able to see that particular option also. So if you want to disable the pipeline, do not execute and all, where you can use this option to disable that pipeline. So this is how you can configure the multi-branch pipeline. But if you want to restrict, suppose let's say I don't want to execute all the branches, there are some more options are there. Here for now I have selected star, but you can able to use the options. Some wildcard options are there, some regular expressions options are there. So it will be helpful to give some name patterns. Okay, all the branches which are started with release, all the branches which are started with develop or feature, okay, that will get built, and rest of the branches which are started with some test, something like that, you can able to restrict also, because instead of displaying all the some dummy branches, some feature branches, only some valid branches only should needs to build every time, instead of creating some burden on the Jenkins server and Jenkins slaves. So with that, the multi-branch pipeline got completed. Yeah, you can go ahead.
In which scenarios we use multi-branch and which scenario use pipeline thing?
Pipeline is a just we have to cover that part as a sequence. That's why I have told most of the
Mhm.
companies now they are using the multi-branch pipeline only. Pipeline they
Okay.
are not at all using. Why? Because definitely they need to, if they want to use the pipeline, they need to create three pipelines for development of that particular job. They need to create one master, they need to create one separate pipeline for this one, separate pipeline for this one. Like that they need to create multiple jobs. Here in
Mhm.
one job itself you are maintaining all the branches itself. So whenever there is a particular branch code change is there, that particular build will get executed. If it is success over there, then that pull request will be raised from development to master. Automatically, the same job will get completed, right? Same code will
Okay.
get
Yeah.
pushed to the latest branch.
Okay.
Any other questions for anyone? With that, we will stop for today. One more thing is pending that I want to cover, which is master slave configuration. How to set up some slaves, one or two slaves at least, so that if you get some task related to master slave configuration, you need to know how you can create some slave, and so that you can execute some jobs on that slave. So actually, I thought I should complete today, but it is extending. No problem. We'll take tomorrow. We'll try to complete that in the first half an hour, and second half an hour we'll start the answer.
So I don't know. Funny might be my question is right or wrong. The
Correct.
Git usually have these branches with master, and we can have multiple
Yes.
branches right there, and we'll merge it into the master. But when it
Yes.
comes to the Jenkins, we are packaging with different master pieces, and or because of the
Yes.
staging,
Yes, yes.
that's the
We have
only.
before deploying to production environment, right? We will have
Mhm.
some more, at least two or three environments in each organization. One is development environment, and the other one is stage environment. And some of them they'll use some UAT
Production,
environment kind of thing.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in order to have some, definitely some artifact is required, right? In order to deploy in development branch. For that, they will put the code from the development branch only. So
Oh.
so they will first develop the feature, whether the use case is working fine or not. They will develop the code, and they will try to deploy that code in the development environment. So that particular artifact is prepared over here, and that will be deployed in the development environment. If it is working fine, so they have to do some stage. Stage means where the actual functional testing and how many load testing, all these things will work. Development maybe functional testing will be done, whether the use case is working fine or not, whether my code and all. So
Mhm,
stage and
mhm.
all, whether they will do some load testing, whether it is performing my use case in the specified interval of time. or whether it is taking too much time, whether if multiple customers are connecting, whether it is slow or not. All those
Got
things will be load testing and all will be done in the stage environment. For that, they will try to use some different repository. So once that is also working fine, from there, stage environment to master environment or some release branch, they'll create one more branch which is called release. So they will try to push the code over there. If release, if it is working fine, then finally they will maintain their code, working code in the master branch. With all the issues are sorted and all the performance related issues are sorted, they'll push their code to the master.
Okay. So, one more, like in Git, we can back out the code if something goes wrong. Same way, can we do it in if something is going wrong? Can we take out that particular stage one or stage two, whichever is breaking in the middle? Can we take that out from the pipeline
Uh,
and
Here
re-execute
it
it?
doesn't require, right? Here doesn't require, right? Yeah. Suppose development I executed only one time. Suppose if you execute one, suppose maybe development I got some failure. Okay, whatever maybe. I know the solution. I can fix that one in the development branch of the Git only. Okay, in the development branch of the Git, I'll push that fix code, and then once I pushed immediately, it will get
Okay.
automatically triggered. That it will automatically trigger this pipeline of this development only. It will not touch this master at all. So development, you can see the second build. So this will get success. Suppose if it gets success, what you will do, you will raise the pull request from this development branch to the master branch. Then the working code will be pushed to the master, right? Then once the latest code is pushed to master, then immediately on the master, you can see one more execution will get started on the master. So if development code it is working fine means on the master also that execution will work fine.
Got you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.